Hello Taurus friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Taurus July 2023 Astrology Horoscope forecast. I'm calling the theme of this month for Taurus, 4 zesty reasons for Taurus to love July. And there's a lot more than that to discuss. We'll get into all of it here in a second. This is for you if Taurus is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Taurus placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Taurus friend, so birthdays around May 15th through the end of the sign, or Taurus placement around 23 degrees to the end of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Gemini report, as both the Taurus and Gemini readings will be relevant for you very late degree friends. I've got lots of stuff to go into. We're using the chart this month. If you are listening to the podcast version and you want the visual, then you can find me, Annie Botticelli, on YouTube. Search for Taurus July 2023. If you're watching the video version and you want just a podcast version, you can look for Astro Kisses with Annie Botticelli and find the syndication, or you can just scroll down on your screen so you can hear the audio without seeing the visual. So we've got a lot of things to talk about that are specific for Taurus, some things that are true for all signs but need to be discussed as well, including the fact that we have a good bit more salty aspects compared to sweet ones this month. For the past several months, it has been the opposite, so that's something to note. This is definitely nothing to fear. I see this more as like road bumps when you're trying to go along the road and you're like, oof, oof, just trying to move along here, right? But if you know, foreknowing is being forewarned. And so if you know that there are road bumps on a street, you can slow down and go wee over the bumps and have a much easier time. So these are nuisance aspects. They come quickly, they pass quickly, and there will be quite a few of them this month, but there will be some sweet spots too. Also, this is something to celebrate. Taurus has been in the hot seat from those Taurus-Scorpio eclipses, plus the new eclipse cycle that we've just recently begun in Aries and Libra. So now we're pretty much out of the heat of eclipse season. Of course, things can happen at any time related to the storylines that started at the end of 2021, will continue to the end of 2023 for that Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle. The new eclipse cycle has brought up new themes, but for the most part, you can rest more easy now. It's a time where there's a break from the intensity of April, May, even into June. And now for July and August, there's a rest and integration period. So I'm sure you'll be very happy about that. Many Tauruses have been in the hot seat for a very long time. So hopefully this will be an easier period of time for you. One of the big stars of the show this month is Venus retrograde, and we'll get into much more about this. But it is a general transit that affects everyone, and we'll go into specifics about how the general energy is and what is specific about it for Taurus. But we do have some other things to discuss first. If you're interested in understanding the eclipses more, re-listen or go back and listen to my April and May reports where I go in to discuss very deeply the patterns at play, the timelines, and I give you resources for how to better understand how these eclipses are affecting you. Even though they're in the backdrop, the storylines are still happening. Okay, so first piece of very relevant information is there is a party in the energy of Cancer. I always see a congregation in the stars as like a party, right? And the mood of the party is the sign that they're in. So you see star goddess Juno, the sun, Mercury coming together. Also not pictured here is that new moon in Cancer at 25 degrees in the days around July 17th. So these are 4 aspects or transits occurrences in the sign of Cancer. These are in a beautiful angle for Taurus, an angle of opportunities. And so this party, this congregation, has to do with a mood of emotional connection, of quiet, sacred space. And so it's, it's very much, we'll see, it's a quiet party where people are deeply connecting. They're home or in someone's house that feels like home, and this is kind of an energy of this month. And Taurus energy loves the energy of home, which is good because you have a lot of it coming up for multiple placements. So you may have been forced to go far and wide, like Bilbo Baggins. I always liken Tauruses to our Hobbit friend, and that these eclipses have been forcing you to go on your adventure of a lifetime in many cases, much to your chagrin in some cases. But there is a very strong focus on home now. Home and family, real estate, housing are all burning bright. Every layer of this party has its own piece, okay? So star goddess Juno is bringing the energy of partnership partnership story to real estate, housing, home, family. The Sun is bringing a spotlight to issues within home and family or housing or real estate or home-based business that needs to be addressed, or showing the places where the strengths are burning bright. Mercury is bringing information, education, mobility, transportation to this scene. And all of this is occurring for Tauruses in the house of Gemini, which has to do with movement. And again, information, because Mercury rules that. So there's just, it's a very lively, active energy, but it's related to home and family. So if there is movement, you could be traveling to see family or other relatives or friends. It's a very social energy, but it's a very close emotional energy. So it's kind of the energy of interacting with others, but on a more close-knit basis. You may have the opportunity to travel home, or other people may be coming to visit you. In the days around July 17th, you have a special opportunity to make your new moon wishes. You can make your wishes on any topic, but generally when you align your wishes with the topics that the moon is in this case Cancer, then they can go further. So says brilliant astrologer Jan Spiller. She is amazing with her work. Definitely suggest you look up her work. She has a book called New Moon Astrology that you can really take and go very far with. But she talks about this energy of trying to align your wishes with the energy of the sign that the new moon is in. So if you have a house wish or a home wish or a housing wish or a family wish, you're trying to heal ancestral patterns. If you're trying to create a home-based business, if you have a business that takes place in people's homes or you go to people's homes, all of these things having to do with that energy is burning bright, and you can make your wishes to help expand that space. As I mentioned, all of those Cancer placements make this beautiful angle of 60 degrees, which is the angle of opportunity for Tauruses. Opportunities are nothing if they're not properly used. So this is one of those situations where someone could say, well, no opportunities came to me. Probably a good chance that they might have been there, but you didn't do anything with them or you weren't looking. So the more you look, the more you'll find opportunities at this time. And the more you take advantage of them, the more they'll activate. If you find that possibilities are around you, but they fizzle away, so they sizzle around you, then they fizzle away, that could mean that you're not activating them. Potentials, astrological potentials are worth nothing if you don't activate them. So you have a strong chance for activation at this time. Everyone can get a kiss from that new moon in the days around the 17th, but those of you who are closer to 25 degrees, so we'll say 20 degrees through 29 degrees, closer to 25, the more you get the kiss. So that's going to include all of the friends that I said May 15th and onward, 23 degrees and onward, and we'll extend that a little bit and say everyone around May 12th through the rest of the sign and everyone around 20 degrees through the rest of the sign. The closer to 25 degrees or the closer to around May 17th, the more you get a kiss from that new moon. Okay, there's one more thing I want to mention before we get to the 4 zesty reasons for you to love this month. Already I've outlined a bunch of reasons for you to love this month, but they don't carry the energy of zest. They carry the energy of flow and emotion. But we'll get to those Leo placements in a second. First, I just want to mention this Capricorn full moon. Okay, so we've got in the days around July 3rd, fullness, completion, fruition, possibly drama, elucidation, culmination, coming to the energy of Capricorn, which rules career, business, work, employment, father figures, authority figures, passion projects. So anything that you're doing out in the world, whether you're making money from it or not, like your place out in the world, those energies are very, very prominent at this time, and you may see some elucidation on those topics, or you may see something come to pass of great significance. Now, specifically for Taurus, this energy is activating, enlivening, making bright, making aware, making conscious the energy of far and wide storylines in Sagittarius, okay? So different countries, different cultures, the broadening of your horizons, the expanding of your perceptions and perspectives, education, international travel, immigration, different countries, different cultures, all of that can see this good culmination and of chance for things to come to light. All right, now let's look at the bottom of the chart with these zesty party goers here. We've got another stellium. A stellium is 3 or more placements. And we've got that happening also in Leo. So very different than this Cancer party, this mellow, calm, emotionally connecting, home-focused party. Now we've got the Leo party, which wants to party and have fun and have festivities and be creative and have vibrant self-expression and have romance and the energy of children and, just voracious fun and pleasure and everything that's zesty and outlandish. We've got that party going on too. And these are the 4 reasons that I'm listing. The first has to do with Lilith. Lilith is a star goddess that gets a bad rap. A lot of times she's cast in a very negative light. While it is true that she can be associated with repression or anger, and you may see this energy come up. And actually, all of this Leo energy is accentuating your house of home. Okay, so as I told you before, you've got all the Cancer energies in your 3rd house, but they rule the 4th house of home and family. Then all of these Leo energies are in your 4th house of home. So you're getting the home and family from everywhere. And so these Leo energies, as vibrant and zesty as they are, they do make a square with a Taurus placement. So that could mean something comes up. It could mean that you have to work a little bit for this fun, or you have to, prioritize making fun or having things happen or making the most of these opportunities. One of the opportunities is liberation through release, right? So you might be harboring feelings about something. You might be harboring a belief system. You might be having repressed anger or frustration that's holding you back from creating what you want in your family space or your creative space. And so Lilith here is giving you the opportunity for liberation. In general, always suggest, a more private and productive way of releasing the repression so that you don't, negatively cause a negative cascade, because a lot of times when these repressed feelings come up, they can be very ugly. And once you say them or get them out, you feel better. So sometimes it's better if you can just write a letter and then rip it up or something so that you don't cause any collateral damage. But however it is, this zesty opportunity for liberation is coming. And that could be liberation in how you express yourself. It could be liberation in your home and family space or housing or something like that. We'll get back to Venus retrograde because I want to talk a little bit more deeply about that. Let's go to Mars. Mars is the number 2 zesty reason to love July. Mars, wherever Mars goes, our obsessive focus goes. Okay, so you may have found yourself in recent months, including through now, very focused on home and family, very focused on buying a home or selling a home or, renovating a home or doing something. Your family's needed focus. Something's going on. And Mars can give the vibrance and the direction and the ambition and the resources to help you resolve these things or to move forward with them. It's an energy that cracks you out of, doldrums or feeling stuck. So it can be liberating on its own as well. All of these Leo energies can. Third zesty reason to love July is we've got star goddess Pallas Athena. She's my personal favorite star goddess. Way too many things to talk about involving her in this short description. But she's a spiritual warrior, and she helps you to access your spiritual warrior strategist. She is the more calm, strategic sister, wise, you could say, sister to brother Eris, god of war. And so not to say that she can't kick butt, because she can. But she usually tends to think about it and get a plan together to reach the goal. So if you've got some things going on in your life that need creative resolutions, Pallas Athena is there to help you come to those resolutions and also help you bring and access your spiritual warrior. There are a lot of stories about how she turned people, usually other women, but into various things. Spider and some other stuff when she gets irritated. So it's not like she always uses her power in the best way, but she definitely tries and will try to take a strategy over a physical fight. And so if there's a physical fight to be had in those arenas or any arenas, she may help you to avoid that with wisdom and patience. Okay, so now on to Venus retrograde, because this is going to be a very long transit. Venus is going to be retrograde from July 23rd through September 4th. Pre-shadow period starting around June 19th. Post-shadow period going until October 6th. Very long cycle where Venus, the ruler of, well, you, for one thing, Venus is your ruler. So this is an exceptionally important transit to understand. Ruler of love and relationships and money and finances and beauty and design and self-esteem and confidence. A lot of rulership there, very long period of time. I've got a ton of resources that you can look at the notes underneath the video or podcast, but I'm going to bring up some important points now. First of all, I want to talk about some specific things that Taurus will be working with this long cycle of Venus retrograde, okay? Because we're going to talk about the implications of Venus retrograde in the 4th house. Okay, so we've already discussed some of the things that it relates to, but let's put the Venus retrograde tilt on it. 4th house of Cancer is all about the home and family. And childhood events are likely to come up as echoes from the past, for better or worse. The returning to a place that you loved, something going on with the family home, patterns that were fun from your childhood coming back, like you doing them with your own kids, or troubled patterns coming back. Real estate and design and other things related to home are very likely to come up. A very common way I've seen this come up is family real estate issues, like an inheritance or a family asset that there's consideration to sell. It's a very good time to research property values and do inspections and assessments. But if you're the one holding the property, not to say that you can't sell it, because sometimes the Venus retrograde will release you, and some of the liberation we talked about before can come from the release. The most important thing to know about this is that whether it's a house or anything of value that you're trying to sell or hoping to sell during Venus retrograde, if you're doing it because of fear and scarcity, the odds that you will underestimate the value of the house and then kick yourself in the butt are very increased. So you want to know the value and try to not drop the value, because there's a very good chance you will regret it and say, what was I thinking? So there's a very good chance you're not seeing clearly about the item that you want to sell. Now, on the other hand, if you are a buyer, there are two major ways I see this go, big purchases in Venus retrograde. One is that you buy a money pit, and things are way more expensive and annoying when you buy them in Venus retrograde than you thought they would be. That's not always the outcome, but you have to do the extra inspections to make sure, get second opinions, do your research, because it does increase the odds that you'll have to keep shelling money into something more than you thought that you would. Now, the other way I've seen it manifest a lot is that you get a smoking deal, and you can flip it or just hold it as an asset, and something that you've always wanted from a material perspective can come to you in this time. And because so many other people are scarcity selling and not seeing the value of the things they have, this is, a dream for people who try to get good deals on things. So if you have expendable money and it's not going to put you out any, and you're completely sure you know what you're getting yourself into with your inspections, this could be an amazing time to purchase property and secure some, financial investments. Some people will get the urge to renovate at this time. This is how the Venus retrograde and the design aspects apply to the home area where it is going on for Taurus. If you're going to shell a lot into the renovation, it's not always the best time to do the renovation, because the chances that you won't like the designs that you chose when Venus goes direct are much increased. It much more favors a more conservative way of doing things that you can dress up later, so that, if you can't fix it, that it can at least be neutral or there's some flexibility there. It's definitely a really good time to do minor cosmetic things, improve, fix up, repaint things the same color, just kind of get things cleaned up and straightened up and manicured. It's an amazing time for that. And you may see it manifest that way, in the home space Definitely may also see things involving your mother and your relationship to her, or you as a mother, or you and your mom and money, or you and your kids and money. Okay, that's a combination of home and family with money that I've seen. Lost love can return to your home, like a lover or a spouse. If you've been away from your spouse or beloved for one reason or another, this could bring them back to you. Or it can return the magic back to your relationship if things have been getting stale. Sometimes weak links are revealed in relationships at this time, and then you have a chance to improve them. So a few great questions you can ask during this time to make the most of the Venus retrograde in this particular placement is, how is your childhood affecting or limiting or accentuating your current relationships? Where can you apply forgiveness for the sake of your own health and happiness and the sake of others? Does a family member need you? How can you have a healthy relationship and find balance while giving help or accepting help? Do you need help from your family? How can you create more coherence in your home space? And how can you make money from past investments involving homes and houses and family money? So these are some things to consider. But either way, the Venus in retrograde is the fourth zesty reason for Taurus to love July. Definitely look in the notes underneath the video for other links to my Venus retrograde resources so that you can understand as much as possible to make the most of this transit. Join my free VIP community at anniehelpsyou.com, where you'll get my sweet and salty list, my favorite aspects, the ones to be most awareful and careful about, and other information 1 month early delivered into your inbox. If you want to be a professional astrologer or learn astrology to help yourself and your friends, see my course, Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, at lumelife.com, Lume, life.com. I also have free courses there, including one on unleashing your money magnet and some wellness courses. If you want to access my secret star portal and get exclusive content from me, including my Jupiter in Taurus for all of the signs series, including my Saturn in Pisces deep dive, including my 2023 retrograde and direct tides calendar for your planning purposes, including how to make the most of all the sun's placements each month, including my astrological, my feature on how to make the difficult astrological transits easier, and so much more. You can see that at anniebastrology.com, the secret star portal. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.